The Motor Dream podcast is recorded on Camaragal land of the Eora Nation. It always was and always will be the lands of the First Nations of Australia.
This is the Motor Dream podcast.
Hello there and welcome to episode 40 of the Motor Dream podcast. Connor McNally with you, and this is the podcast where we can dream just a little about what our dream garage would be if money was no issue whatsoever. We always love a good story about a trailblazer within the field of motorsport, and on this edition of the podcast, we caught up with a woman who has shown great determination and passion to establish herself in an industry that's continually smashing up the traditional stereotype of being a male-dominated sport. But first, here's the premise of what this is all about, especially for our new listeners to the podcast. I tell my guests that one day they wake up to discover that they've received a text telling them to check their bank balance. They then open up the bank app and they suddenly discover that they're instant billionaires. As soon as they discover their newfound fortune, they get an email from this mystery benefactor that tells them that they can spend anything that they like and they can buy any car, bike or machine they want. There is a catch though. They are only allowed 3 cars, bikes or machines in their dream garage. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But as my previous guests have told me, it is very difficult to decide what they like in their dream garage. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast itself wherever you listen to your podcasts, and be sure to leave a review and tell us what you think. Also, be sure to follow us on our socials, which we'll tell you more about at the end of the show. Last year's Hi-Tech Oil's Bathurst 6 Hour was historic for a number of reasons. It featured not only the first all-female team to have won a class in any Bathurst endurance race, but it also saw the highest finish for any female driver in a Bathurst Enduro. That was courtesy of the efforts of Courtney Prince, Carly Boccini and Suzanne Palermo, who won Class B1 for high performance forced induction, and they finished 10th outright, eclipsing the 12th place finish in the 1998 Bathurst 1000 by Melinda Price and Karen Brewer. But there was another history-making moment that took place on that Easter Sunday in 2024. In Class D for production cars, there were 3 Mazda RX8s that started and all 3 of them finished, and they were all built and prepared by a young woman based in Moruya on the New South Wales South Coast who lives and breathes all things rotaries and learnt from the very best in the business. Her name is Maisie Place. She grew up in a family that worked around cars and motorsport from the very beginning. She bought her first race car at the age of 14, which was a Series 2 Mazda RX7, and she learnt not only how to build a Wankel rotary engine, but she built the car from the ground up and eventually did track days in it. The build instantly sparked an interest to become a mechanic, and while she was in high school, she was taken on by Canberra-based Mazda rotary specialist John Anderson for work experience. The work experience quickly turned into an apprenticeship and then full-time employment. It was with John that she was introduced to Allan Horsley, who ran Mazda's factory racing efforts in Australia for many years. Allan became a mentor to Maisie and learnt plenty from his guidance, especially when she decided to go racing herself. In 2018, she joined the fledgling Mazda RX8 Cup on a whim and was welcomed into the class with open arms by another Mazda rotary specialist in Rick Shaw, who was hugely impressed by Maisie's talents. So much so, he took her to the Nürburgring to work and race with her on his successful Nürburgring 6-hour campaign in 2023. It then opened doors to race in a 6-hour race at the Watkins Glen circuit in New York. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. Since her maiden European and American trip, Maisie has gone out on her own in business. She opened up her own workshop in Moruya and has expanded her workshop since opening up a few years ago. And she continues to prepare cars and race in the RX8 Cup, something that remains a passion project for her. So much so, she was awarded the role of category ambassador in 2024. And she's also dabbled in other categories, such as the TA2 muscle cars for Hayden Jackson and the Series X3 XL series for Titani Racing. So as you can appreciate, she's a very busy woman. In fact, trying to get this interview locked in took ages to organise. But thankfully, Maisie was able to find some time back in May this year where she was still unpacking from a busy 2025 Bathurst 6-hour campaign. A campaign that ended in heartbreak just 10 minutes from the finish. but it's one that she remains very proud of regardless of the result. Maisie's passion for cars is evident from the moment she starts talking about them, and we enjoyed chatting so much about it, we almost lost track of time. And her dream garage has a very rotary feel about it, with a splash of V8 muscle thrown in. You'll have to listen to find out what they are. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my chat with the biggest Mazda rotary enthusiast that I know, Maisie Place. Maisie Place, welcome to the Motor Dream podcast. We've been trying to get you on for a while. Finally got you here. Welcome.
I reckon it's nearly been a year in process, would you say?
I would say so, because I asked you in 2024, would you be interested? Because I know you're a very popular personality on social media with your activities in motorsport as a team owner, business proprietor, racing driver. Like, you're a jack of all trades and one of the very few women in Australian motorsport that does absolutely everything off your own back and has done it very, very successfully. Have you had time to stop and scratch yourself and go, what has just happened to me? It's just been such a whirlwind for you.
My last day off was, I think, 2nd of January.
Because around that time when you just mentioned that date, you were preparing for the Bathurst 6 Hour. You were hoping to enter 2 cars. In the end, you entered 1 car. Yeah. It's become like your biggest goal every year, to race at Bathurst for 6 hours for showroom production cars, and you have a great fun time doing it as well.
Yeah, see, a lot of people keep asking me why I don't drive at the Bathurst 6 Hour, and there was the option to do that this year. But because I had originally planned to run the 2 cars, Dad and I discussed it, and we just went, look, what happens if I'm in 1 car and the other one has an issue? And that's why it's sort of hard for me to drive at Bathurst. Plus, we couldn't really afford to put me in the car because it's one less pay driver. So, yeah, it ends up being way too much out of our pockets. And the only way we can put a grid on the car at Bathurst is by having other people pay for the car to be on the grid. And the whole reason we do it, it means, like, we're a small family team. We never even thought we'd be in motorsport. So for us to be able to say, hey, this car, we put this on the grid at Bathurst and stuff like that, it's a good feeling to us because of how many Bathursts we went to as a family.
That's a really cool story. I like that. Do you remember how many Bathursts you went to before you actually ended up on the grid yourself?
So my first Bathurst 12-hour was 2006. My favourite car, I think it was 2008, was the Frosty Paws Evo. I remember it so well. Like,
that's the VIP Pet Foods car.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's now a tarmac rally car, and I've rallied against it, so that's cool.
Nice.
So I went from 2006 to 2020 was my last 12-hour. And then I think the first time I did the Bathurst 1000 would have been 2008, because before then it was still not a very family safe environment.
It's very different now, isn't it? I mean, yeah. I've been to Bathurst when it's been wild and unruly many times, and it didn't feel as safe as it does now. You don't get that unruliness like you do these days.
There's still been, like, I remember when I was a kid, there were still a few wild groups, but now it's so family orientated. And I went to every Bathurst 1000 from about 2008 till, I'd like to say, 2019 or 2020. I didn't go the year COVID happened. My dad did, because he pit crewed on an 86, but I didn't go. And then I've been to one since then, and that's because I had a car on the grid.
And that was a Group C touring car. And your life seems to be evolving around Mazdas, particularly rotary Mazdas, or the rice burners, as one Richard Johnson once called it back in the 1980s. I mean, I laugh when I think about it now, but do you kind of feel offended when people say, oh, that's a rice burner,
It's chook cooker that bothers me with the rotary. It's like rice burner, I get it. But when someone calls a rotary chook cooker, it infuriates me.
How does it infuriate you?
They're underrated. I think everyone hates rotaries until they drive them.
They sound really cool, though. I mean, they're very loud, but they do.
Oh, let's be honest, the RX8s don't sound the best.
Mind you, RX7s do sound much better.
Oh yeah. So my first race car, it was actually, we had it for a few years beforehand, but my first race car was a Series 2 RX7, and I'd slowly built that up over time. And it's got a 12A Bridgeport with 48 IDA Weber, so it's got all the good bits on it. And eventually put a roll cage in it, started doing track days, and that's how I ended up with this career, because I did all the work on it myself, just taught myself how to do it. Like, I remember it needed a new clutch master and brake master cylinder, and I didn't know how to change them. And I watched a YouTube video, jumped under the dash and changed them, and I would have been maybe 13 or 14 years old at the time. And I could do everything myself on it. And then the carby needed tuning, and I had no idea what I was doing. So my dad used to get his rotaries built by John Waterhouse in Canberra. And he always tells this fantastic story of he was in Canberra and blew his RX2 up. So I took it down to John, and John said, yeah, I'll rebuild it. Where are you from? And Dad said, Moruya. And he goes, oh, well, I'm doing Bay Rally in a couple of weeks, so I'll build the motor and I'll drive it down to you. And that's the sort of guy John is. But anyway, I took the RX7 in to get tuned by him, and then when I was 16, did work experience and never left.
Got out of school and decided to go into the motor mechanic trade, which...
He wanted me to stay in school, so
Really?
I started doing... because I sort of left halfway through year 10 at Moruya High, because I was doing school... Oh, it was halfway through year 11, I think. I was doing school in Moruya, working at Macca's in Bateman's Bay, and working at Reliance Automotive in Canberra, and going to TAFE in Canberra. I was 16, 17 years old at that point.
That's dedication right there. I mean, South Coast of New South Wales, that's where you're from originally.
It's 2 hours from Canberra.
So you drove 2 hours each way.
I got my hours up on my L's so quickly.
I'm not surprised. That's crazy.
But yeah, I ended up just, I quit my job at Macca's and I left Moruya High and started doing year 12 through TAFE in ACT. So they let me skip year 11 in the end and just go straight on to year 12 because I like, yeah, whatever. And I just got over it. I didn't even unenroll. I just never went back.
Okay. So that worked out really well for you because you actually learned your trade in that. How much valuable experience did you get out of that time learning from this particular person that worked on your dad's car and then been able to learn how to actually tune a car, particularly a rotary engine like a Mazda, and actually apply it to your own trade now? It's a really cool story. I like it.
Well, it was because we were a motorsport workshop but did road cars as well, which is basically what I am here now. John always taught me to treat a road car as it's a race car. So if you're going to look over a race car that thoroughly, why aren't you looking at a road car that thoroughly? It's actually doing more kilometres, got more people in it, the roads are rougher, et cetera, et cetera. So I learned very early how to diagnose with my ears, how to diagnose with my bum, you know what I mean? Like you're driving along and you go, oh, why does it feel like that? Or why does it sound like that? And so I feel like I learned so many valuable things through working for John because he is such a good mechanic, and he's one of those mechanics who don't just fix a problem. He goes, why was that a problem? And finds ways where that problem won't happen again and stuff like that. So I was very lucky to learn off him. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to run my own business here if I didn't learn off a guy like John.
And when was that key point in your life where you decided, I'm going to go out on my own and run my own workshop?
Canberra winter.
You don't like Canberra winters. I know. They're not.
So my last Canberra winter that I had, we had a minus 7.5 degree morning, and that was when I was really like, I'm done. I can't be in Canberra anymore. I
can't say I blame you. I mean, when you're on the South Coast, I mean, when you got beaches and you got nice weather compared to Canberra, yeah, I think I know what my decision would be.
Yeah, although I don't know if you can hear it right now, but it just started absolutely pouring rain and the wind's terrible right now.
Oh, don't worry. It's Sydney weather is just as bad when it gets windy, so I know, I get it.
I left all the windows down on the race car, but I heard my friends here. He's actually on my racing simulator at the moment. So I think I just heard him go out and wind the windows up on the race cars.
Oh well, that's the precautions that you take when you're a business owner. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. But other than the Canberra winter, what was the main driving force for you to go out on your own and form your own workshop?
It was the race cars, honestly. So my race cars were always stored down here. So this workshop I'm in at the moment, we've been renting this for about 3 years now. And before then, we were in the workshop directly through the back fence of this one. But I was having to come down nearly every weekend to prep the race cars and make sure the race cars were good. And even then I was still missing stuff because it was rushed. And it was sort of one of those things where I want to be back home with my family. It was my youngest nephew forgot who I was because I didn't come home for a while, and that broke my heart. And the race cars, yeah, they just all of that combined, I just sort of went, I think it's time I go home.
And it's worked out really well for you because now you've got how many cars in your team? About 4 cars with one that's been currently
4.
built? Yep.
Yeah. So that one it just went on the hoist. So there will be 5 in a couple of weeks' time.
Life's not busy, but they're all Mazda RX8s, and you run.
There are more actually. There's also a Honda Prelude race car at home. There's the RX7 race cars next door. There's the Peugeot race car.
Hang on.
A few others that I keep a secret.
Hang on. You got a Honda Prelude, Peugeot. What is it? 205, 405, 406. What have we got?
205 GT.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a classic.
I don't know my Peugeot, so.
And you got obviously the Mazda RX8s, which is your core business. Like you obviously build
Mazdas.
Mazdas are your. Why Mazdas? What is so good about Mazdas?
Oh, let's just say I worked on a Volkswagen last week and I considered shutting my workshop. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning that European cars are not necessarily your best friend. They are painful, particularly front-wheel drive.
My mum drives an Audi and she blew the gearbox on it. It's manual, thankfully. It's an S3, and she blew the gearbox on it. And I'd never changed an Audi gearbox before, but I was like, I'll give it a shot. 3 days it took me. 3 days and a lot of alcohol.
Oh, do I dare ask what was the poison you were drinking at that time? Not that we recommend our listeners to take it up.
Well, I'm actually sponsored by Browley Supermarkets, which is that blown up MX-5 that I showed you just before you started recording. He's actually one of my sponsors, and it was just after New Year's, and he'd dropped off a Subaru Outback load of alcohol for New Year's at the workshop.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny, Mum's gearbox, it wouldn't go in while we were sober, but as soon as it was 11:30 p.m. and we were all pretty well pickled, it just fell in.
Okay. Real reason why? Okay, is that partly the reason why you like Mazdas? It's that they're much more easier to work on. They're much more.
It took me 3 days to do a gearbox on an Audi, and it takes me 45 minutes to have a gearbox out and back in an RX8.
That's a fair description, to be honest.
Yeah. Plus, like that MX-5 that I've got here as well, I've got the head off it. It probably took me 40 minutes to pull the head off it.
I just like the fact that with a Japanese car, it doesn't matter what kind of Japanese car, they're very easy to maintain and they're very easy to work on.
Yes, and parts are easier to get. They're cheaper, more available. Jap cars are just so much better.
But why Mazda RX8s? What makes you so invested in the RX8s? Obviously, you're racing the Mazda RX8 Cup, which is a state-level series in New South Wales, and obviously there's been some national racing as well. But those RX8s, they're really much your lifeblood, aren't they?
Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here.
All right.
I hated them when I started racing them.
Really?
I absolutely hated them. When I did work experience at Reliance, I remember there was a turbo RX8 in there, and I never really accepted what an RX8 was or anything. I was 16 years old, sort of just taking an interest. I loved RX7s, no idea RX8s even existed. And when I did work experience, saw this and went, God, it's the ugliest car I've ever seen, and hated it. And just looking in the engine bay, it's so busy, so complicated. And yeah, it took me, so I worked at Reliance for 2 years before I joined RX8 Cup, got my first RX8, and I still hated them, thought they were hideous. And then I drove it.
What changed your mind then? Was it just the way it drove?
Got to drive one. You got to drive one.
I've never driven funny thing is, I've driven an Evo Lancer. They're great. Driven a Rexy, a Subaru WRX. They're great. Very different with the box of four. But I've never driven a Mazda RX-7 or an RX-8.
See, I've owned Subarus. I've never owned a Mitsubishi, but my sister had a Lancer that it's comfortable. But the RX8s, if they came out with a turbo, they would have outsold the RX-7s, 100%.
I agree with that. The only thing I don't like about the RX-8s, and I might get castrated by Mazda aficionados, the suicide doors. I don't know why.
Okay. Until you have to put a roll cage in one, you want to bring
No, okay, fair point. Fair point. But I just don't, what's the logic behind that? Suicide doors,
I think you look at the FD and how hard it is to get in and out of the back seats of an FD RX-7. And then you look at the RX-8 and look, it's still a squeeze, let's be real. I always have to go in the back of my own one when my friends are coming on a road trip with me because my friends are taller than me. So they drive it, I'm in the back. But it's just more comfortable getting in and out. It makes it a bit more of a family car, but it still looks like a sports car. And the amount of people that don't even know there's a back door there, I've opened my one's door around other people and they're like, wait, is this a four-door? I'm like, yeah.
I just find it's one of those kind of sleeper cars. Suicide doors aside, it's one of those sleeper cars that you don't even notice it's there until you...
Yeah, it looks like regular traffic, and then you take it to 9,000 RPM and everyone's like, whoa.
I do like the RX-7s, but I do like the FD ones, obviously from 92 onwards.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone associates RX-7s with those particular cars, the JDM specs, and I remember when they won the Bathurst 12-hour in 92 to 94. I mean, you were only, what, were you even born then?
Because I was good friends with Allan Horsley.
Of course, the late Allan Horsley, who ran Mazda's operations.
Thing, but he actually gave me, I don't have it here, I wish I had it here now. I have the jacket and button-up nice corporate shirt that he was wearing when they won the Bathurst the Sydney 12-hour.
The Eastern Creek 12 hours, the last one, the last of the original 12 hours. I remember that race very well.
I have his team uniform from that race.
That's incredible.
And it says Horsley on the tag and everything.
Oh, wow. And
that was coming to my grave with me, just...
Yeah.
They've got to go in a museum or come in the grave with me.
See, what Allan Horsley did with those cars, and he did them all from the Sydney workshop of in the Sydney suburb of Kingsgrove, because that's where Mazda's then Australian operations were. Just in a nondescript business park in southwest Sydney, and he ran the team like a clockwork. And he was so meticulous, much like when he was running Alan Moffat's team back in the 1980s. And the preparation and the fact that he had apprentice mechanics working on those cars to great success, 4 in a row.
I have so many good stories about that because, John that I did my apprenticeship with worked for Horsley.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was a mechanic on all of those cars. So he helped build the SPs, he helped build the MPSs that they did Targa with. Pretty much all of the Mazda Motorsport cars John was heavily, heavily involved with. And he's told me so many stories, and we're really good friends with this guy called Nathan Huey, who we call Chippy.
Right.
And we've had a lot to do with him, but he was one of the apprentices that Horsley took on.
Fantastic.
And John was the one who had to pick him up, and he'd been dumped at a servo, and John had to go pick up this young kid, he was early teens, had to go pick him up from this servo in Tasmania and take him around at Targa, Tasmania.
Oh, wow. And he stayed on.
They are inseparable. John and Chippy, just ever since then, they're thick as thieves. They have always stayed in touch, always still helped each other out. John and I put the motor in Chippy's AE86 when he was building all that. And so, yeah, the Mazda motorsport community stayed very, very in touch. And it's actually funny, my Auntie Palmina she was, Alan says second in charge, but I believe she was sort of one of the secretaries and helped run Mazda Motorsport. So it's a little close family, you know.
I loved also that he took on a woman mechanic at the time, in Vanessa Rolfe. That was her name, and she actually ended up in the papers. It was actually one of the first.
Big deal for its time.
It was a very big deal for its time. I remember it very, very well. And I think I remember passing her because I recognised her face. I think it might have been down in the lower North Shore of Sydney somewhere, and I was getting lunch one day, and I think I passed her. She must have been riding a bike or something, but I recognised her face. I think I know that person. So, like, it was a big deal at the time that she was a part of Alan's, grand plan of bringing all these apprentice mechanics in. And like you said, that community seems to be very, very strong all these years on.
Yeah. They all stayed in touch with each other. I remember after his funeral, we all went out to Chippy's favourite restaurant, and it was the whole Mazda Motorsport group there, and it was the best night. And they all loved me because, of course, Alan and I became very close towards the end of his life. And he always told me he was living vicariously through me. And for one of your heroes to say that
That's
is
really
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? What was Alan like as a person? I know he was a very rough man. Like he was very, very much like the book. He took no bullshit from anyone. But what was he like?
That you just summed it up perfectly. It was his way or the highway. They weren't at the racetrack for a haircut. And yeah, he was very stern. So I'd spoken on the phone with him a lot when I first became a mechanic, first started working for John, because he'd call John all the time just to catch up. And I'd always answer the phone, and he'd always go, I'd answer the phone, and he'd just go, "Oh, where's John?" I was like, "Oh, I'll go get him," and never knew who it was. And then when John told me, it started to pick up on every time I answered the phone. It'd be a stern voice saying, "Where's John?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, hi, Alan, I'll go get him for you." Eventually, because I didn't know my auntie had worked for him, and she sent me her Mazda Motorsport jacket, and I was like, "Wait, what? You were involved with Mazda Motorsport?" And she told me all about it. And then one day he called and said, "Where's John?" And I said, "Oh, hi, Alan." And I was like, "Oh, actually, my auntie Palmina says hi." And he goes, "What, Palmina?" And yeah, you could hear his voice sort of perk up. And, "Oh, how do you know Palmina?" I'm like, "My auntie Palmina." It's my mum's cousin's wife, but we just call her auntie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we ended up getting to talking, and Alan started asking about me, and I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm a race car driver. I'm actually not John's secretary. I'm his mechanic. It's only me and him here, so one of us have to answer the phone." And he really took a liking to what I was doing. And after that, if John answered the phone, put Maisie on.
I like that. He really took a shine to you, and obviously became, I guess, a second father figure, which I guess you really appreciate a lot more now.
Yeah, well, when I was going over to Nürburgring, I was telling him all about it, and he was like, "What are you going over there for?" And I said, "Oh, going over there to pick her on a BMW." "Oh, don't work on that shit." But then when I got back from Nürburgring, he wanted to hear all about it. And so I told him all about it, but then he wanted photos, and he wanted me to email him through some photos, and I got a bit busy, and then he passed away shortly after, so I never got to send him the photos of Nürburgring.
How devastating.
I know. He would have loved it.
I think he would have. But his death obviously had a profound impact on you as a mentor, as a friend. Like, how much do you miss him? Like, how much do you wish you could wish him to be still alive to see what you've done to go on and do Bathurst?
John came down the other week, and we put that motor in the Group C RX7 together because we needed to tune it and everything. So I needed him to be here. And when we put it in, we started up and just went, "Oh, wish we could call Alan right now." And John sometimes will just be sitting there, and of course, I'm trying to get John to come down and work for me. We're always talking about it, and he goes, "You know who I really miss at the moment? Alan." And it's sad because, like, sometimes you do something, you're like, "Oh, I'd love to show Horsley this," and stuff like that. Like, he of course passed away before I took over running this Group C RX7 for Robert Ingram and stuff like that. So I really wish I could show Horsley this kind of stuff, but I'm sure he's looking down on me and critiquing me from afar.
I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty sure. What would young Maisie growing up in Moruya be saying? Like, what would she be thinking now that, this life has just happened so much so quickly?
I don't even believe it when I say it myself.
I know,
yet.
and you're not even 25 yet.
I turned 25 in March.
Okay, so you're now 25, but you did all this, and also now recently with the 6 hour at Easter, all before 25. Like, that's just mental. Like, did young Maisie ever wish that this was going to happen? Did she ever imagine this was going to happen when you look back?
Didn't know women could do this sort of stuff. I met Leanne Tander. What's her?
Ferrier.
Terrier. Leanne Terrier.
No, Ferrier. Don't call her Terrier. Ferrier. Well, she is a terrier on the track.
Ferrier.
Yes.
Met Leanne Ferrier at the...
Apologies, Leanne. Apologies, Leanne.
Sorry, Leanne. I love you. But I met her at the 12 hour, and it was a really, really rainy year. And I remember meeting her, and I saw a woman in the pits, and she was in a race suit and stuff, and Dad was like, oh, this is Leanne, she races and stuff like that. And my sister and I posed for a photo with her, and we were drenched because it was a rainy year. And she was like, she put her arms around us and went, oh, you're all soggy and that. But I just remember walking away from that event going, a girl was doing that race, like a girl was a driver. And that was when it sort of clicked to me that, hey, this isn't just for guys. And that was when I sort of started looking to, is this something I want to do? And it didn't really click to me until a few years later that, I could give it a crack.
Well, how old were you when you first started getting into cars and motorsport, when you were growing up?
Well, I learned to drive when I was 6. I learned to drive manual at 6.
Oh, I wish I drove my first car at 6 on my dad's lap. Does that count?
No. Dad just put us in a paddock and gave us a Renault 12 and said, off you pop.
Wow.
But yeah, so I learnt manual when I was 6, and then started doing motor carnas at 14. And yeah, just from there it just exploded.
And it's just gone on from there ever since. But did it also help that your parents were into the sport as well? Did that make that?
Yeah, definitely. So they've been very supportive of it. Mum sort of, when I first went into it, when I was going into the mechanic career, she was sort of like, oh, is this something you want to do? And when I said yes, she was like, I support it. Good. But I think a lot of people sort of second guessed if I wanted to do this because I want to do it, or is it I still get it now where people say, are you doing this just to get male attention? And
I don't believe that for a moment.
It's just to get male attention.
I don't believe that for a moment. There is no way you're trying to do it to get attention from men. You're doing it because you love it and you enjoy it.
If anything, it repels men.
No, I don't think so. I think you've gained a lot of respect from a lot of people within the motorsport community, not just in New South Wales, but as a whole. Like, the fact that you've been able to make friends.
Mechanics get me to work on their car.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a cool like big tick, to get other mechanics to work on their cars. I mean, it's
pretty... like, oh, you got smaller hands, you go do that. It's easier for you. I'm like, okay.
But you've also managed to, establish some really good contacts and friendships as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mr. Dusty.
Daily phone calls with Mr. Dusty.
Oh, we know he's a lunatic, but I mean, Mr. Dusty is like he's very, very popular, sometimes controversial.
Crazy. I've only known him for a year and a half.
How did you two get in contact with one another? We're talking about
TikTok.
Matt Tatani here, so.
TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I met Lisa first. So Dad and I went and spectated a Bathurst 6 hour just because I finished everything on the race cars early one year, and we were just like, oh, let's go watch the 6 hour. So I drove up to Bathurst. We ended up, we actually slept in the car. We didn't book accommodation. We slept in the car at the 6 hour. It was lovely. But
I've done that.
We've all done it.
Yep.
We went out to a pub for dinner, and the whole AIG group was there having dinner. And Dad and I sat down and dinner came out, and then I felt this tap on my shoulder, and it was one of the girls in the ARG stuff and had the stand sport. I go, and she's like, "Are you Maisie Place?" And I'm like, "Yes." And it was Lisa, and she'd seen me on social media, and she ended up ditching ARG and coming and having dinner with me and Dad.
Oh, nice.
Talked nonstop, and I didn't know she had a brother. And it wasn't till it would have been like mid 2023, I started seeing Mr. Dusty videos on my TikTok, and I looked at the name and I was like, Tatani, he does look a bit like Lisa, a little bit.
Yes.
And ended up following him. He followed me back, and all we ever did was like each other's videos for a good 6 months. And then we were hosting a come and try day with the RX8 Cup series at the start of last year. And of course, I've been very close with Priya Richards, and I contacted him and Priya and just said, sorry, burped, just said, if you guys come out and do some media, you can have my cars for free for the day. And they got on a plane and flew down. They ended up spending nearly a week in Moruya with me. And yeah, they love Moruya. They keep asking to come back. And
because I was about to mention Priya as well. Priya Richards is a former guest on the pod, and she loved the experience. Not firstly, she did the come and try day with Matt in the Excels at Malala Motorsport Park, and then she comes up to Sydney and then goes down to Marulan to do the come and try day with you guys. So how well did she do? Like, she actually did better from what I've seen. She did very, very well.
She couldn't heel toe at first, and heel toe is such a crucial thing in the RX8s because of how high they rev, basically. Because in an XL, it's not quite as bad because you're not revving it to 9 grand, but if you 9 grand and drop the clutch, you're breaking something. So you have to heel toe in an RX8. And it took her probably half a day to nail it, but at the end of it, you would have thought she'd been doing it forever. She didn't spin out once, so.
Well,
and she got stalled in.
At least she didn't stall. Well, I know she spun.
Matt spun.
Did he? Oh.
Matt spun.
Pardon me. Now I burped. Matt spun.
We're charming.
Okay, well, you didn't tell me this when we chatted.
Matt spun and Priya didn't, so.
Because it's interesting, because when you look at the video that Priya did at Malala, driving Matt's car.
She's spun so much.
I know. And Matt was like, oh, well, obviously he knows the car very well. He didn't say anything about spinning the car at Pheasantwood. I'm going to have to bring that up with him the next time.
He did it spectacularly as well. Like, hit the ripple strip sideways while spinning back. It was. I had to wheel align the car afterwards. That's
that we didn't know about. Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, Matt. You're going to have to be honest next time.
Yeah, Matt.
Actually, what's Matt like as a driver? Because he actually became a part of your team for this year's 6 Hour. He did, he almost finished the race. What are you laughing about? Go on.
Did a pit stop, and there was another car sort of blocking our entry for the pit stop. And so Matt came in on a bit of an angle. Anyway, they're refueling, and they're doing the driver change we're doing the driver change, and then we had to roll it back to do the refuel. And we started pushing the car back because the fuel rig was too far away because we'd come in on an angle. And Matt saw the car rolling, so he leaned in and ripped the handbrake up.
Oh, no. Oh. Mr. Dusty to what? Mr. Krusty?
Pretty much.
Oh, dear oh me. Oh, these truths are coming out.
In the 6 Hour, he did exactly what he needed to do. He did a heap of laps. He was consistent, didn't miss a beat. The only thing I can fault him on is he ripped the handbrake up. But I also stuffed him over a little bit because I had to fix an ABS issue. He came in, I had to put a scan tool on it. And I forgot to plug the dash back in. So he did half of his stint not knowing what revs, what speed, nothing. Not knowing temps.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Did he know about this afterwards?
He told me the moment he left pit lane, and I went, I didn't plug that dash back in. It was one of those things, when you rush things and you just forget. But he was pretty cool with it. And then we came in for a fuel stop and I just like leaned up into his feet and plugged it in. But it's just not something you can do while driving, sadly.
No.
Plus, it's hard to talk him through how to plug it in while driving.
Was it a good experience running a race team at Bathurst? It's a huge undertaking. I don't think many people realise how big of an undertaking it is to do a major endurance race at Bathurst. To prepare
It was a bit more stressful. We did it more independent this year, and there were a few things that didn't quite go our way that we've learnt from and will change for next year. A lot of things we're going to change for next year's 6 hour basically, and because we want to go there and enjoy it. And this year just wasn't our year, I guess. But the first year we did it, although stressful, like I remember it was just so hectic where I didn't get to stop and breathe until about an hour after the race. We were packing up the pits and all the drivers were standing there putting their helmets in their bags and packing their bags and all that. And I looked at the car and I looked at Dad, and Dad's staring at me. And we both just, tears started welling up in my eyes. And I was like, we just did that. I was like, we just built a car that finished the Bathurst 6 hour. Like, how?
So you said this year was
we can't say the same.
No, I know. But you said this year you did things a little bit more independently compared to 2024. What were the differences?
So last year we shared a crew with Rick Shaw, and this year we chose our own crew and did our own way sort of thing. We weren't prepared for how much was involved without sharing a crew. Like, we had a crew that had never used a dry brake fuel system before, and so my best friend Crawford was on the fuel rig and he did so well. Like, he was awesome. But yeah, there was a lot to learn basically.
You've also learned
take the positives away.
Of course, but you've also learned a lot from Rick Shaw, who's one of the biggest Mazda rotary specialists in Australia, and his record as an endurance driver speaks for itself as well. He's done Nürburgring multiple times, quite successfully as well.
Yes, yeah, I think he won his class.
He did?
Was that in Aston Martin? I think he won his class at Nürburgring 24 in an Aston Martin.
I think he
or it
did
might have been
too.
in an RX7.
I think he did.
I know he podiumed there.
I'll have to have a look at that actually. But how much did you learn from being able to learn all the rotary stuff? Not just from people like Allan Horsley and some of the others that you've mentioned before, a lot with your dad as well, but also with Rick Shaw because of his knowledge and experience with these cars.
Well, it's funny because I've got Phil Alexander, Rick Shaw, and John Waterhouse, like the three biggest rotary names in rotary racing, I guess you could say, in the country. And I have all three of them just always calling me to see what I'm doing. And all three of them have been my mentors since the get-go. So, yeah, I've been very, very, very lucky to learn off all of them. And they all do things slightly different to each other. So I'm able to, like, find what I like. And Rick's been awesome. Like, when I looked at joining the category, I'd actually had a customer in and I told the customer, I'm thinking about buying an RX8 Cup car off Rick Shaw. And the customer went to Rick and said, heard Maisie's buying a Cup car off you. And Rick goes, who's Maisie? And that was the first Rick had heard about it.
Oh, wow.
And then, so I'm leaving TAFE one day and my phone rings and it's this unknown number. And I answer and I'm like, hello? And he's like, hi, this is Rick Shaw. What's this I hear about you buying a race car off me? And I'm like, well, I haven't decided yet, but I'm looking into it. And he goes, have you done any racing? I said, I've done track days in an RX7. I work for John Waterhouse, and John was a category scrutineer at the time. And Rick goes, so you have no racing experience? I'm like, no. And he's like, leave it with me. That was the extent of the phone call. And I went, what was that? Then suddenly Phil Alexander calls me and goes, heard you need driver coaching.
Because he's a driver coach in his own right, Phil Alexander. Yes.
Yes. So suddenly I've got Rick Shaw and Phil Alexander doing everything they can to get me in a race car. Rick really looked after me on buying the car. Even Rick got it down to Canberra for me and stuff like that. Like, he was so eager to get me into the car. And, like, honestly, my racing career, I have him, John and Phil to thank for. And Mum and Dad, obviously. But him, yeah, those three just, they went above and beyond to get me in a race car.
How much did you soak in all that information about, racecraft, learning the trade from both Rick and Phil?
Sometimes my brain reaches its daily limit. The computer, you just got to reset it.
But do you still rely on them for much advice when you go racing, or are you at the point now?
Occasionally, yes.
Yep.
But even then, it's so funny where sometimes John will be working on an RX8 back in Canberra now, and he'll call me and go, I know you can do this in this amount of time. How? And I'll tell him, you want to do this, 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 and then he does it and goes, oh, that's a much better way to do it. So it's funny, these guys now calling me, and even Phil calls me sometimes and says, how do you do this on an RX8? I'm like, oh, this is the way I do it. And he's like, that's much better than my way.
There's so much, you surprise me with how much you soak in and you do all this. You wouldn't have it any other way, would you? You seem very happy about it.
Oh, I love it. And look, people always tell me I need a day off. I need to go on a holiday, this, that, and the other. I don't want that. Okay, so yeah, some days I'm absolutely worn out and can't function. But if I have a day not working on cars, I don't know what to do with myself. I just love it. I love it so much. And it's sort of, I don't know where my life would be right now if I didn't get involved in motorsport, and I don't want to think about where my life would be. I probably would have stayed to doing football, let's be real. But
rugby league or AFL?
Rugby league. AFL, gross.
All right, going off topic for a minute, and I'll go back on topic because I found the class win that Rickshaw did at the Nürburgring. We'll come back to that in a sec. Off topic, what's your team?
Panthers. My dad's uncle, I think he is, Paul Dunn, he played on the 2000 Panthers team when they won the premiership, and that was the year I was born.
That was, okay, but they won in 2003.
Maybe that was it. I don't I just remember he won a premiership with Panthers, and my favourite colour is purple, so Panthers have always been my team.
I'm a Bulldog.
Ew.
Don't ooh me. We play you tomorrow night. We will smack. We will smack you. We are going to smack you. That's what's going to happen.
Sorry, how have the last 3 years gone?
Will you be quiet? What's happened? Actually, Paul Dunn, he's a former Bulldog. Paul Dunn is a former Bulldog. He is a Bulldog. I'm sorry. I'm taking dibs with him first. He's a Bulldog first and foremost. I don't care.
Won a premiership with Panthers.
Won a premiership with the Bulldogs as well in 1988. You ask him. You ask him.
Whatever.
Wow. Battle lines have been drawn. Back on topic. Rickshaw won his class in 2016 at the Nürburgring for Saxon Motorsport in the AT class in a BMW 135D GTR.
Where to God he got a podium in that Aston Martin?
I think he might have did, but he did drive a BMW. That's where he got his class win.
I pictured for him in a BMW E46 M3 at the Nürburgring 12-hour.
So that was to the 2016 edition of the 24.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has driven an Aston Martin. I know
he's driven an Aston Martin. I forget who he drove it with. The last name might have been Murphy or something. I'm not sure. But then he drove a FD RX7 over there with Phil Alexander.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
I think he took the FD over. It might have only been once, actually. But it's sort of motorsport's gotten to a point where how can you fathom doing that now as a privateer?
It's hard. You can't do it now.
You can't. No, you've got to have a car already over there.
Actually, tell us about your experience at the Nürburgring. How did that all come about and how did it all go for you? Because that's a very cool story, being able to go and do the Nürburgring.
So Dave Cox, who races 6 Hour with Rick, he, of course, has also leased cars off me before and stuff like that, but he lives in England and he has the BMW E46 M3. And they were sort of planning it for a while, and when all the licensing started to change for the Nürburgring 24-hour, Rick was sort of like, I got to get over and do a race at Nürburgring because otherwise this license will lapse and stuff like that. And so he went, I'm just going to do it this year, and approached my dad and I and said, would you guys come and pit crew for me if I went over to Germany? And we went, yes, 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 yes. And we ended up, I had to sell a few of my RX8 road cars to be able to fund the trip. And then Mum decided she was coming as well. And so, yeah, we sold a lot of stuff to be able to fund the trip, but we ended up we did 10 days in Europe and 2 in Singapore, I think it was, all up. And we did, I forget how many days we're actually at the Nürburgring racetrack. Might have been 4 days we were there, but we just did a little RV trip around and we went to all these different places. We went to Motor World in Cologne, which had the Michael Schumacher private collection. Oh my God. If you ever go to Cologne, go to Motor World.
Okay.
Because you won't be able to, as you can hear.
I went to the Enzo Ferrari Museum in 2023.
That would be cool.
That
would
was
be very cool.
Utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. And you actually get to see one of Michael Schumacher's Ferraris in the collection. Like, as in the F1.
2000 championship winning Ferrari was on display at this museum, and his trophy.
The 2000.
And they had stuff like his seat inserts and his pit passes, and there was a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really, really cool.
They had his old go-karts and stuff too.
Did they have anything?
Go. You know what? Off here, I will send you photos.
Done. I like that.
But yeah, so Nürburgring, we got there, and because we were in our RV, and we'd just been to Cologne and all that the day before, and we went straight from Cologne to Nürburgring, and we'd been sent this address that we were going to meet up with the team at, and we'd meet the team at this restaurant. And we're going down there, and this car just goes straight past us on this bit of road nearby. And we're there, and we're like, that's the racetrack. And I burst into tears. That was like the first time it hit me what I was actually doing. Like, I'd been in Germany for a few days at that point, and it was my first time overseas, my mum's first time overseas, my dad's first time overseas. And that was the first time it actually hit me that, hey, we're not in our country, and that is a world-famous racetrack. Yeah.
I like that.
It all hit me at once, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm actually here. I'm actually doing this.
Same feeling for me when I went to Imola, and I went to the Senna Memorial. Yeah, emotional. Utterly emotional for so many reasons, because there's such a shrine for Senna. And, the people that go and pay their respects from around the world is just... it blows you away. It really, really does.
Yeah. And it's funny how something triggers it, though, because like even with me going to Watkins Glen and racing last year, I felt no emotion about that. I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is the coolest experience of my life, but I felt no emotion. And then Matt Tatani did that behind the racing RX8 Cup video of me, and it was when I was talking about Watkins Glen in that video, and at the end of me talking about it, flashes up the picture of all the girls that were in the race standing on the podium together, like, because it was the most girls that have ever been in an American endurance racing grid. And so got to sort of line up and get a photo. That photo flashes up, and first time I watched it, I just burst into tears. I was like, I did that. I was like, I went by myself over to America and spent 2 weeks in America after only being overseas once in my life. I did that trip alone. Went and raced in New York, and then did a little trip around America, went to Grand Canyon and stuff. I was like, I did that.
That's a cool
story. It never
story.
occurred to me how wild it is until a few months later when that video came out.
What does Maisie Place want to do for the rest of her
Fun
career?
Cup.
Fun Cup, I like it. That's John Boston's.
We all want to get a team together.
A Fun Cup. That's John Boston's.
Barcelona. We want to do Spa. We want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, I know John Boston's brought one of those Fun Cups to Australia, the VW.
Yeah, so there's a couple actually. There's a few in Australia.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think maybe we've got too much?
It won't kick off. We've got too many categories already.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There's too much at the moment, and obviously we've seen the Australian Racing Group decide to pull out of running events now, and that's sad. It really is.
That was, when I read that news today, I was like, that is scary, because Motorsport Australia are allowing more and more and more categories to come in, but there's less and less calendars for them to go on. So categories are going to start getting shafted, and it's going to be a scary time, basically.
Are you scared?
No, RX8 Cup will always be strong.
Seems like it is. But you've also raced Hyundai Excel. You did that endurance race late last year with Lisa and Lisa Titani.
Yes, and Emily.
Emily Duggan, who we've tried to get onto the pod, but she's sadly declined. She said that she doesn't want to talk about her time in cars, which is a shame, because I think she's got a very good story to tell. The way that she was able to build up, like yourself.
She built a career out of nothing.
Yeah, she's done so well. And I'm very saddened by the fact, and I hope Emily realises this, I'm very saddened by the fact she doesn't want to talk about it, because I think it's a very good story. It's a positive story.
She does have a very good story behind her. But look, I was talking to her about it when we were at the Bend, and what she's doing now in the media side of things, she loves that. She loves it so much, and she says I feel the same way, where the pressure you have on you as a race car driver, even at my level, I'm nowhere near the level she was at, but the pressure I feel to perform it's a lot. Like, you have a bad weekend and you just feel like you're letting everyone around you down. And I had a shocking weekend last weekend.
Because you did a state round at Sydney Motorsport Park, and it wasn't your best weekend.
I broke the car so many times.
Oh,
I blew up my first gearbox. So racing RX8 since 2018, and I finally blew a gearbox in 25.
Took you 7 years.
Took me 7 years, and they're glass gearboxes. So you know what? Now that I've joined the club, I can blow many more.
What was the little telltale say in the RPMs? Was it like over the 9,000 RPM when it blew?
No. It was coming from turn 3 at Sydney to turn 4. I had my own other car next to me. So Dynaco was next to me, and I was not letting him pass me. And I shifted way too hard into third gear. And as soon as it went in, I've overshifted. And I just knew, like, I felt it go past the gate. And that's a big thing that breaks them, is overshifts. So you can get a synchro saver, but I've never needed one because I've never done it. But I felt that I pushed into third gear way too hard, and I held the clutch in for a little while, rolled around the corner, and went, when I let that clutch out, there's going to be a terrible noise. Let it out, and there was a bit of a whine, and I was like, okay, it's only a whine. Like, it might last the race. And so I was babying it a fair bit. Then it started to get really hard to get into fourth gear, and then it started really crunching badly into second gear. And then this was like 4 laps after the initial overshift, coming down around Corporate Hill, and in an RX8 you hold third all the way down to turn 8, the hairpin. And so I was holding third, top of third gear, and as I lifted off to shift into second, I watched the gear stick pop backwards, and I felt this bang through the floor, and I went, that's it.
I'm going to swear.
It took me 2 hands to get the car into any gear to be able to drive it back to the pits, but I forced that into any gear it would go into and drove it back to the pits, because I was not being the guy that red flagged the race with 2 laps to go.
Don't blame you. But can I say it? And I'm going to swear when I say this, you fucked it.
I did. That's exactly what I said in my head. Actually, that's what I said when I went down into the pits, and I rolled up to my garage, and a few people came down to push me back into the garage. And they're like, oh, what's happened? And I looked, and I looked up at Brett, and I went, fucked it. And he's like, what did you break? And anyway, they pushed me into the garage, and I go, get me a 10 mil and a screwdriver. And he goes, oh, you're taking the shifter out? And I went, I'm taking the shifter
out. Those are the moments that bolden you, don't they? They embolden you.
Yeah, well, honestly, I would have tried to keep driving it just for the championship points. I would have driven it home in whatever gear I could get it in and just circulated, knowing 2 laps left. Like, I can do this. But I also had a fuel leak, so I thought, you know what? 2 major issues, let's park it. And the fuel leak was because I'd done a fuel pump in the race before, and yeah, I just didn't seal the tank properly. But it was a slow weep. Wasn't going to start a fire or anything. Like, I knew that it was safe. But yeah, I thought, these 2 things are telling me to park the car for this race.
You did the right thing in the end.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was heartbreaking.
although which is more heartbreaking, that or stopping with a few minutes to go in that 4-hour race at the bend in that Excel?
That hurt. 6 hour. 10 minutes left of the 6 hour.
That's it. Yes, that one. Was it a 4? Was it a 4? No. Oh, that too. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So there was that was my first RX8 Cup DNF in almost 4 years. So that's why that hurt so much. The bend one hurt because we were so damn close to the end. Like, I reckon, what was it? If we had to cross the line 2 more times or something dumb, like, because it was all time sensitive. So yeah, I reckon there was 2 laps to go.
You were in the car, weren't you?
No, Emily was.
Emily, that's right.
It said the thing said I was in the car, so the TV stream was saying Maisie Place, and I was like, no, I'm out of here. I didn't blow it up. That's a good little car though. Like, that had just done the XL Enduro, which is 2 1-hour races, I believe. So it had just done the XL Enduro, a full weekend of racing, and then we put it in the 777, and it did 3 hours 58 minutes.
Oh.
But it's not as bad as going to the 6 hour and having the car absolute problem-free until 10 minutes left of a 6-hour race.
So basically the hub sheared itself and it lost a wheel.
Yeah, so funny thing, you're going to love this. It is still sitting exactly as it finished the 6 hour. Well, didn't finish the 6 hour, so to speak.
Didn't finish it, yeah. Matt was at the wheel. Oh.
No, Grant Bray was at the wheel.
Okay. I thought it was Matt at the wheel, but there we go.
So this is still sitting here. This is how angry I've been at it since the 6 hour. But yeah, all the studs just sheared off.
Oh, I've seen that happen at Bathurst as well. It was Bathurst 12-hour 92, and Wayne Park, who used to be a touring car privateer and then drove a Glen Seaton at one point, he had the same issue with the car that he was driving. He was leading the 12-hour, I think after, 90 minutes, going through Forest Elbow, and the hub sheared the wheel studs off and lost a wheel. So that same corner too, that very same corner. So I know exactly how heartbreaking.
Yeah, just so lucky our wheel didn't hit Cricky. I haven't spoken to Cricky since then.
Are you too scared to?
I don't know what to say to him about it. Just like, oh, sorry that I nearly destroyed your race. Yeah.
You are scared, I can tell. It's like the way your delayed reaction is
I'm waiting until I actually see him in person and can be like, how was that? But yeah, that almost flipped the entire race upside down, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, it did. It did flip the race upside down. We got a last lap finish. That was the great...
Okay, but in saying that, it was a last lap finish because they wanted to make it interesting, and they waved half the cars past safety car.
You didn't seem happy about that.
I mean, I'm all for... I love some interest in racing and all that, and I love bringing it down to the very end. But when you're a team trying to get there and another team's given an advantage, yeah. Anyway.
Abu Dhabi vibes? Is that what you're getting?
Maybe.
Let's not go there.
Just that thing of like, everyone works so hard, and even I'm not sure how it would have affected rankings further down through the field. But let's say they wave that front group by, they've now got extra pace on those cars that were stuck behind Ojada's car. And did it destroy any of their races? That's yeah.
That's a good question to ponder. Last question before we move on to what we really got you on for the podcast. What other categories would you like to do?
That's a damn fine question. I've never really thought of that. I would love to do, like, of course, I'm going to stick with the RX8s.
Of course.
As much as I possibly can.
You're very passionate. You're very passionate about those.
I'd love to do MX5 Cup. I love endurance racing, so I'd like to do Wakefield 300's back. Sorry, One Raceway 300. Yes. But it's back, and I mean, that was my first ever trophy. Where is it? That one. So I love endurance racing. I want to stick to the cheap fun stuff. You know, you look at 86 series, and that just doesn't interest me. I like coming home with a straight car.
Fair point.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point. But what about
it's a lot of money to have your car bent.
what about XLs? Could you see yourself in XL?
I'm sorry, I reshelled an XL race car for someone recently, and I never want to see an XL again in my life. Yeah, it's just a hard no. I will never. Although, okay, Matt's trying to get me to drive his this year, and maybe I can make an exception.
Do it.
Yeah. And Matt was sort of talking about possibly the XL Enduro, but I was genuinely like, I'm going to be so hard on myself right now. I was slow as shit in the XL. I could not get my head around it. It was the slowest, scariest car I've ever driven. Why does it do those things? Why can't you touch curbs? Why does it do that when you hit curbs? I just, no.
You know, Matt's going to listen to this and he's going to try and convince you otherwise.
Oh, he heard me say all of this stuff when I got out of the car for the first time.
Did Priya hear you say all these things as well?
I think I whinged to her about it at one point over the week.
Well, she's in Europe. She doesn't care about it right now.
Oh, she's living her best life.
She is.
Monaco Grand Prix.
I know. I'm jealous of her.
We all are.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of my dreams. Dad's even looking at next year because there's a potential where maybe gonna go back to Nürburgring next year.
What about Spa? Would you like to do Spa?
Well, that's the thing. There's Nürburgring 24-hour Spa and Le Mans are all in the same month. So do you go over for a whole month? And
I reckon you should. I mean, Lisa's over there right now and she's doing the
I know. I'm so jealous.
I just made you jealous. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. That's a good box to tick. I mean, you could also do, like, say, the Brit Car 24-hour, the one at Silverstone. You could do that.
Yeah, no, I'd really, really, really like to do. What is it? The 26 hours of Fun Cup, I think it is.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So they do that at Barcelona, Spa. I don't think they do a Nürburgring one because it's too unsafe. But yeah, there's a few different ones they do around Europe, and I'd like to do those. Like, honestly, I'm not saying I'll stop racing altogether in Australia, but I'd probably start to wind down the events that I do and focus on running the team in Australia, because some weekends is so stressful running the team and driving. So I'd pick and choose events I do here, but mostly try and go over there and do that sort of stuff, because I don't really want to, I guess you could say I don't want to progress with my career in Australia. Like, I originally had the ambition to go into GT racing, but where will I ever be able to afford to do that? I can barely afford to race RX8s. So that's never really going to happen. I'd like to get into rallying some more. I've got a FC that I'm trying to save up money to build into a rally car, but yeah, money is very hard to come by. So yeah, I don't know what I'd do in future. I'm definitely going to continue with RX8s until I figure out what I want to do. And even then, I'll never fully leave RX8s.
That's a good answer. That's actually a really good answer. It's like you're passionate about it.
I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, because every time I make a 5-year goal, I achieve it in a year, and then I'm stuck going, oh, what's next?
No, you do the Valtteri approach. What's next? No, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Yeah, it sort of got to a point where I was making all these 5-year goals. And like, I sort of said to myself, by the time I'm 30, I want to achieve all this. And then when I was 20 and I'd done it all, I was like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
I was like, I accidentally underestimated that. Because I think, look, let's be real, a lot of my career I got lucky. It was right place, right time for a hell of a lot of it.
Absolutely.
But I've also maximized on it as much as I could.
This is the Motor Dream Podcast.
Okay, Maisie, we know you wax lyrical constantly about how much you love cars, how much you love working on Mazdas, rotaries in particular. You live and breathe motorsport and motoring 24/7. I'm surprised you're surviving it. That's a good start. But I want to know a little bit more about what makes you tick. Now, I think you mentioned before the first car you drove in our conversation. Just remind us again what that was.
I'm embarrassed.
Go on, it's okay.
It was a Renault 12.
A Renault 12? Really?
Oh, it's so shameful.
Well, no, it's not shameful at all. I mean, that's a French classic. That is a French classic. I mean, I've seen those things race at Calder Park in photos back in the 70s. I mean, those cars, I mean, okay, the shape is very odd, but it looks like it's just one of those. Yeah. Sorry? What was that?
Ugh.
You don't like them?
Not French.
Okay.
I work on too many Renaults now that I own my own business, and yeah.
Yeah, French cars are not necessarily the nicest things, are they?
No.
Do you remember the first road car that you owned?
My first road car would have been, I got a 2008 Corolla off my mum and dad because I was driving to and from Canberra so much. Like, this thing's 6-speed manual and all that. Used no fuel. Like, I filled it up once a month. So that was my first road car.
What about the first race car?
The RX7. Series 2 RX7 with a 12A Bridgeport with a 48 IDA Weber in yellow.
Do you still have that?
Of course.
Good.
Sure, it's in the other workshop.
Good.
Got the two workshops side by side now. It's lovely.
Yeah. You've got a lot of cars, I can tell. Do you remember the first road trip that you remember growing up?
The first road trip, God. I don't know. The ones that really stick with me are the ones like going to Luna Park and Bathurst. Pretty much any time we went on a road trip, it was to go to Muscle Car Masters or Bathurst 12-hour or something like that. Muscle Car Masters was always a big road trip and a big deal for us because it was on Father's Day every year. But we did a few trips, like we went on a lot of camping trips when we were kids as well. Like, my family were always quite big on camping. I think I miss that, but I don't have time for that anymore.
Do you remember the first time you changed a tyre?
I reckon I always tried to help my dad change tyres when I was a kid. Like, always tried to take over. Yeah.
Did he eventually let you just do them eventually?
Yeah. He was very happy for me to learn.
Okay, that's cool. What about the kind of music you listen to when you do go on a road trip, a current modern day road trip?
Oh, my friends, when they come on road trips with me, they have no idea what's going on because it's like a mixture of like old school rock music and then like old school like pop, and then there's modern music, and then there's metal, like heavy metal, and then pop.
What kind of heavy metal are we talking?
I listen to a lot of metal, but like I love Slipknot. I've always loved Slipknot, and every time I've had the opportunity to see them live, I've been racing.
Ooh, oh,
Yeah.
that must be a bee in your bonnet. Like, it really grinds you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it bothers me a lot.
Yep, I get it. I understand.
I always loved when I was in school. Thy Art Is Murder was one of my favorite bands. So
Yeah, you are a metal fan.
People get surprised, and I'm like, I literally have a skull tattooed on my forearm.
Holy
like,
moly.
what do you expect?
You didn't tell me about that. I have no tattoos.
My forearm.
Although, mind you, I have a Queen collection, so like I'm a big Queen fan. So
I have model cars.
I do have a few model cars, but they're
The Hot Wheels are there.
oh yes, I can see that.
I've got a picture of Matt Titani on my wall.
I do have a couple of posters that I need to hang up, but you can probably see in the background the Freddie art, which if I can get.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there we
Very
go.
cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I was like, my mum this morning, she's like, oh, hey, there's an ABBA tribute band coming to Bateman's Bay. Do you want to come see them? And I'm like, okay.
as you do. What about
Sure.
eating in cars? Yes or no?
Depends on the car.
Okay. So if it's a cheap shit box or something, you okay with it?
Free reign. Drop the food everywhere you want. But like, even sometimes my friends will have a nice car and they're like, oh yeah, you can eat in here. And I'm like, no, you haven't seen me eat. Like, that's danger.
How dangerous?
Oh, you watched a dog eat.
Oh, no.
Very similar. You know, I'm actually a really good cook and I absolutely love cooking. My
Same.
mum says, you make the best food, but you make the biggest messes.
That's so good. I have to try your food one day, actually. That would be good.
I always cook for when we go away racing. I make food and freeze it and take it to the track and heat it up at the track for
Yep,
everyone.
that's good. Yep, go prepared.
Yes.
What about getting your license first go? Did you get it first go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I knew the driving instructor, really.
Oh, here we go.
Playfully with her daughter. She was like, oh, I should have failed you because you did this, but you passed.
Yeah, that was easy.
It's
Straightforward.
not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly. Yep. What about the best car you've owned? It can be a race car, can be a road car, can be anything that you've had in your lifetime.
I've never owned a good car. I have a 74 Chrysler Valiant Galant, and that thing just, no matter what, it always seems to start. So
Oh, geez.
I bought it for $400.
Chrysler Galant. I think my dad had one of those. Geez, back in the 1980s, it belonged to my aunt. Way back. Yeah, I know those ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing won't die. It doesn't die.
Mine did. In the 1980s, yeah.
Don't tell me that. Well, this has the belt-driven engine swapped into it already. So the chain-driven ones used to snap the chains, I believe. And so then people were putting belt-driven engines into them.
Mm.
And this swap was done. I found it in the book. There's a record of when the swap got done and everything.
Because they were the derivative from the Mitsubishi Galant. So that was like that first beginning, that beginning of that association with Mitsubishi at the time. So yeah, I remember that car. I remember it very, very well. What about the worst car? Have you had a car that you wish that you've never ever wanted to own again?
I would say my Suzuki Alto, but that thing was the best on fuel.
Okay.
I'll go with my Subaru Outback because that thing just broke all the time.
Well, it's a Subaru, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Best road trip that you've been on? Would it be the one where you went to the Nürburgring?
No, my friend Josh in Arizona, we drove like from Phoenix out to Grand Canyon, Flagstaff, Sedona. We pretty much went around a lot of Arizona. That was the coolest road trip. But I was way too jet lagged to know what was going on. Like I was exhausted by that point of the trip. So, but that was like the prettiest thing because we're in the middle of the desert and you look on the hills in the snow and it's summer. Like why is there snow on that hill in Arizona? And I was coming back from the Grand Canyon. So we'd just been to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, why is there snow there?
Well, you're high up in altitudes. That would explain it.
True.
All right. What about the one thing you wish people would appreciate more in cars?
How much effort goes into working on them?
That's a good answer.
I think people always mention about what people charge to do jobs, and it's like, dude, that's a fair price for that job. That's quite cheap. You do not know what goes into that.
Yeah, it's amazing how people complain about it and then they don't realise that, yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a mechanical...
It's so simple. Do it yourself. I dare.
All right, what about stickers on cars or aftermarket spoilers or fluffy dice or those big stereos?
Can't talk about aftermarket spoilers because my Bridgeport RX8 has the biggest, ugliest GT wing on it that I put on it as a joke and then it just never came off.
Oh, so you're guilty of it.
Yeah, and look, honestly, the RX8 Cup wings that we run, I hated them at first, and over time they've grown on me, and it makes the car look like a race car.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's got different taste, and I think everyone should be able to build their car exactly as they want their car built. I don't think other people should be trying to sway how you build your car.
All right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people getting up others for having rep rims. Maybe someone can't afford real $3,000 rims. It's not a big deal.
It's not yeah, fair enough. Do you name your cars?
Yes.
Ah, okay. What have you named yours?
Frogger.
Ah, Frogger in the background.
I got Frogger, Frankie, Dynaco, Elvis, and then I even name other people's cars. So Derek likes car because I put a motor in it for him. I named it Daisy because I worked on it, I name it. And then I worked on Gary Lauer's, and I call him Mighty Mouse Astro, and I'm making, well, actually, Astro's been renamed into this one. I've got two next door being built, by the way. I'm building 2 race cars at once. Don't ask me what I'm doing. But yeah, so I've got Old Astro and New Astro, but I want to change Old Astro's name to Phoenix.
That's a good name. That's a good name. But why Frogger? What's Frogger mean to you?
Because bright green, and it was actually Glenn Nichols. He is a track official and a track photographer and all that. And when I first bought the green car, he kept commenting on it saying Frogger, and eventually everyone in the comments was calling it Frogger, and that stuck. And then as a joke, when we built Dinoco, we're like, the internet needs to name him, and everyone, well, actually 2 people, Morgan Ward and Nick Goring, said Dinoco because of the colour. And I'd never watched the movie Cars at the time. I never watched the movie Cars until last year when I was in New Zealand. Liam Duffin and Andy Duffin forced me to watch it, and best movie ever.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So they named Dinoco, and then we're like, well, we got to name all our cars. And so Elvis got called Elvis for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie is short for Frankenstein because that's about 6 different cars built that car.
I've seen the vision of that. I've seen what you've done to those cars. It's like a graveyard of those RX8s, all morphed into one. Which I know you can see.
The wall of shame.
Yes, the wall of shame right there. I love it. Absolutely love it. Lastly, what's the weirdest thing in your car right now?
Roller skates.
Okay, why?
I filmed a TikTok 2 years ago of me working on an RX2 and prepping a race car in roller skates, just for a laugh, and I never took them out of the car.
So you still have them? Have you ever actually worn them since then?
No. People get in my car and they're like, why have you got these in here? And I'm like, just because I haven't taken them out. Like, how long have they been in here? A few years.
Oh, we need to get you. We need to find you a hobby. I've never heard anyone say roller skates.
I like to be unique.
Yes, I've noticed that. Unique's a good thing. I like it. I do like it. Okay, Maisie Place. This is the reason why we got you on the pod. You wake up one morning and you get to work, you go open the workshop, and you then suddenly get a text. And it says, check your bank balance. And you think, come on, this is a scam. This is something from Nigeria or whatever. But then you decide, you know what, I'll just check it. So you open up the bank app on your phone and you suddenly discover you've become an instant billionaire. You have no idea where this money has come from and you have no idea why you've got it. You fall off your chair and you think, what the hell? Then you get an email from this mystery benefactor and it tells you that you can buy any car, bike or machine that you want, but you're only allowed 3 in your dream garage. So with that in mind, what is the first car, bike or machine that you would like to have in your dream garage, Maisie Place?
787B.
Oh, yes.
Pretty obvious answer.
It is an obvious car, yes. The Mazda 787B that won Le Mans in 1991. Yes.
And that was a big year for the rotary engine because the Norton F1 rotary motorbike won Isle of Man that year as well.
Oh, that is a big year for rotaries.
Yes.
I think everyone that associates Le Mans with that car, it is a classic.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. Do you remember the first time you first saw it? Like just seeing it either in a photo and
watching a video of it, and I just went, what the hell is in that? But one cool thing, so John that I used to work for, he's been over to the Mazda factory in Japan and worked closely with them and all that. And he's been in their engine dyno room building an engine for the following year, which was on the engine dyno. And then the rule change happened, and it's still apparently to this day sitting on the engine dyno there, but he's heard it all.
Oh. That is so good. That is so good because when they changed the rules for 1992, it outlawed the rotary engine. They had to go.
So they were already testing the engine for the following year when that rule change happened. And so it was a shame.
And I think they had to change to a Judd engine from memory for 1992. Yeah. So it was basically a rebodied. Well, actually, it was a rebadged Jaguar sports car engine.
Yeah, so I think the rule change was something about the throttle bodies, and there was no way you could run a four rotor with a smaller throttle body than what they already had.
Oh, well, this is
Would have been too choked.
exactly. These are the technical specs. It was running the Mazda R26B four-rotor motor, so naturally aspirated, mid-mounted, mid-engine longitudinally mounted, so obviously north to south, running a 5-speed gearbox, and the weight, insane. 830 kilos, running on Dunlop tyres, run by Mazda Speed, and it was capable of running at the red line, 900 brake horsepower at 10,000 RPM. That is
Why we love rotaries.
exactly. it was a beast of a car. Four
Yeah.
rotors, basically a 2.6 litre motor with the power to weight ratio would have just been astronomical, and it beat the world's best.
Yes.
I mean, I still remember when I first
Probably used twice the fuel.
Well, it was very, very thirsty on fuel. We knew that for a fact. But
That was the thing with the Norton F1 win in Isle of Man, is it used double the fuel than anything else, and the riders had to wear 2 layers because the heat that comes off a rotary is so extreme than the heat that comes off a normal piston engine. And yeah, so the riders were actually getting burns on their legs through their leathers and stuff like that.
wow.
So even them winning Isle of Man is an incredible story, and it's just so cool that happened in the same year.
Must make you feel proud as a rotary enthusiast.
Not enough people know about that stuff, though.
I didn't even know about that.
People call rotary enthusiasts and don't even know that.
I didn't even know that myself. And I like, I'm not a big motorcycling fan, but I wasn't aware that Norton had a rotary motored motorcycle that went on to win the Isle of Man. I mean,
Yeah, so Norton F1 was a rotary motorbike, Suzuki RE5 and Hercules had a rotary motorbike, and I believe Yamaha started building one, and they had a few prototypes and never released it.
oh, that is mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. But I still like the
There's
fact...
rotary lawnmowers, there's rotary ski behinds, there's rotary generators. There was rotaries in so much stuff, and people don't realise. And I have right here, this is just another thing sitting on my office desk, an NSU RO80 rotor housing.
Oh! Now, NSU is a
They
brand
were the
that...
first to come out with a rotary engine in a car, and they
That's
became
right.
Audi in the end.
Yes.
So on Mazda's rotor housings, it says licensed by NSU, because Mazda bought the design off NSU.
Which became Audi.
Yes.
Ooh. Because it was German technology. It was Felix Wankel that designed it originally. And yeah, everyone thinks it's a Japanese invention, but no, it's not.
No, German.
Wow.
And yeah, so the first rotary in a car was in an NSU RO80, and it was front-wheel drive. So it was front-wheel drive, but still north-south engine, inboard disc brakes, and it had like the Porsche style, like it's a manual but with no clutch pedal. So you put your hand on the shifter and it activates the vacuum and you shift. Like, this was in the 60s.
It's like a Tiptronic manual. That is mental.
Basically, yes.
That is...
So Porsche started using that technology, and NSU just went, we can do that too.
And they did.
And the big piece of shit car.
Well, they didn't survive to live the day, did they, in the end?
No, apparently if you pass another NSU on the road, you had to hold up however many fingers you've had rebuilds.
I like that. Actually, have you ever worked on an NSU?
I've pulled an NSU engine apart. And I've worked on 2 NSUs actually.
Okay. People are now going to be looking up what the hell is an NSU.
It's hideous. Don't bother.
I have seen the photos of some of those cars, particularly in the early days when the then Armstrong 500, which went on to become Bathurst. Yeah, they weren't pretty cars, I got to say. All right, before we move on to the second car, your thoughts on the Mazda Road Pacer, the wannabe Holden Kingswood.
I would sell everything to own one. It's not one of the cars that I'll add to this garage though, but they're the stupidest thing. Like, It would be so slow, so heavy. Like who would take an Aussie manufactured heavy ass body and put a rotary in it? But so cool, so rare. One of my friends has a road pacer badge. He got one. He got a badge off one in Japan, and that was cool enough. Just being able to hold that.
I don't think there's that many that survive to live the day, to be honest. So
I've seen, since I became aware of the road pacer, I've seen 3 come up for auction, and I bid it on one of them, and it went for a mozza. Yeah, because they're a collectible. Like anyone who sort of knows about them is gonna want one.
Careful, you might see Moog from Mighty Car Mods want to try and steal one.
Honestly, let him. I'll come work on it for free. I promise.
Okay, Moog, you've heard that. All right, the second car you'd like to have in your dream garage.
GTHO Phase 4.
Oh, yes. Now, you are a Ford person as well. You love Fords. Yes. So, okay, there is an interlink with Mazda and Ford because there was for many, many years, Ford owned So, until not long ago, they owned a 33.3% stake of Mazda. That's no longer the case now. Ford have since sold that. So, Mazda's now completely independent of any Ford involvement. But, I can understand the link. But, there were 4 only ever made. Obviously, it was built for the 1972 Bathurst 500. Got canned because of the supercar scare, and only 3 survived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love them. I absolutely love them. Particularly that it's the XA
so
model.
one made it off the production line, and the other 3 were race cars because they never made it off the production line, so it could never actually be road cars. And one got crashed on a racetrack, and then as soon as everyone knew there's 3 left, the others just got put in museums and hidden away and stuff like that. They get trailered everywhere. I know there was one that used to go around to car shows, but I haven't heard about it for a while.
I know the Bowden Zone. I know the Bowden Zone, the car that was supposed to be driven by Alan Moffat. So they still have that.
But then, because they still had leftover parts from the Phase 4s, and they needed something to do with them, so they ended up putting them into road cars. And we've never really confirmed it, but Dad is 99% sure that his dad's XA GT had Phase 4 bits in it.
Ooh, that would be something really, really cool.
Yeah, I think they sold it for $700.
Oh. No, not realizing the history and what. Yeah,
Dad entered it in a like a club rally back when he was younger, and he said that he'd come around the corner and the crowd would move for him.
Oh my goodness! Oh
yeah.
No! Oh no! I can't imagine. That's just, oh my goodness. Like, you couldn't put a price on that. Yes, if you had a lot of money, you would be able to buy one, but like, you couldn't put a price on how much one would be worth now. I would say you would go between 7 to 8 figures for one of those. It is genuinely priceless.
Yes.
Oh, that's just... Utterly. I do remember one, I think it was Bruce Hodgson. He actually rallied one, a Phase 4 GTHO. I kid you not.
Genuine?
Yes. Went rallying.
No.
I kid you not.
That's sacrilegious.
I know. I believe that is, it actually did happen. Yeah, I believe it actually did, in Calypso Green as well, I believe.
Yeah, so there was a green one.
Yeah.
Was there 2 green ones? I forget.
I can't remember, but there was one that, it was rallied from memory. That's how I remember.
I grew up in the wrong time. I'm a 2000 baby. So I missed all this
I
shit.
grew up in the 1980s. I sometimes feel like I grew up in the wrong era. I should have been...
Rub it in.
I am rubbing it in, and I'm loving it gleefully. I should have been born in the 1970s, to be honest, although... I should admit it. I was conceived in 1979. That's not the story, but No one needs to know that. No one needs to know that. But yeah, GTHO Phase 4, I love that. Yeah, I would love it as well if I could.
Yeah.
What about the last car, bike, or machine that you'd like to have?
See, I was like so set on when you said 3 cars. I was like, okay, it's going to be the Cosmo 110S, but now you're saying machine. And I'm like, how cool would it be to have a Concorde? Imagine the Concorde parking. No, it wouldn't fit in the workshop, but I would have it on a stand out the front. But 110S or Concorde? Or like, it's so hard because then there's like, if I could have it, I'd take Michael Schumacher's championship winning Ferrari from the 2000, first championship with Ferrari. Like, you got me in a tough spot here.
I have.
Okay, to go with Mazda history, 110S Cosmo.
Oh, okay. I'm going to look this up. The Mazda 110S.
The cutest car you'll ever see.
I am going to have, here we go, the 110S Cosmo. Oh, yes. Okay. Yep, it is. I actually don't mind it.
Their wheels look like they're too big for them, but the wheels are tiny.
There's an element of Porsche with this car. I'm having a look at it now. So it was built...
So it looks like, it looks so futuristic for what it is. But what I really love about it, and I've worked on a few of these, so I'm very, very lucky to have been.
Okay, Hannah, which era are we talking about? Because
60s.
The 60s. Because I'm looking at the second generation. Yeah.
They look a bit like a Jag, like a E-Type Jag.
Yeah, there's actually a few bits of Porsche vibes in there too. Like the styling looks it too.
But they're like, so their boot into their roof all the way down to their front quarters as well is all one piece.
Oh, I do like it.
The whole body is one piece. It's beautiful.
Wow.
I've driven a few.
I've got to say,
it's very scary because it's like, seriously, this height, like, it's so little on the ground, and like if you parked it next to an RX8, its windowsill would be way under an RX8's windowsill, and you'd be scared even the RX8 was going to run over you. So imagine driving it next to a truck. Like, I was driving a customer car once because a customer brought one in. I had to drive it somewhere for a wheel alignment, I think, and I was terrified. I was like, does anyone actually see me? I'm so low to the ground right now. Everyone in their big 4Bs are going to run over me.
Oh, they'll run over you very, very quickly. You'll be squashed like an ant by the end of it. No, I wouldn't wish that. So the first prototype was produced in 1964 for the Tokyo Motor Show, before the Olympics of that same year in Tokyo, and then after its rotary counterpart, the NSU Spider, was unveiled, there was 80 pre-production Cosmos produced by Mazda, and then it became commercially available between 1965 to 66, and it lasted the first 2 series of the first generation right through to 1972, and most of them were built by hand at one per day, and there was only about 1,176 cars built of that first series of the 110S Cosmo, and they were powered by a 982cc motor with a 4-speed manual or a 5-speed manual in later models. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think it was one of the first of the rotaries for that Mazda. Is that correct?
It was Mazda's first ever rotary. Yes.
Wow, that's
why I'd have to go with that, just because it's sort of, let's look at it as, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if that car didn't exist. And that's a crazy thing to think of.
Are you aware that they took one of them to the Nürburgring and they did an 84-hour marathon durability test around the Nordschleife? Wow.
Yeah.
And I thought Ford's 70,000 mile durability run from 1965, which is celebrating 60 years this year, in fact, I thought that was bold and brave. But 84 hours around the Nordschleife in a little 2-door.
Imagine how much fuel it would have used. Just back onto the subject of rotaries.
It would have used a shit ton of fuel, and there was no.
They were such cool little cars. Just so cool.
I like them. I love it. You were born in a very different era. You should have been. Ford Falcon GTHO Phase 4. rare as anything, let's be honest. The Mazda 787B and the Mazda Cosmo 110S. Oh, yeah, I love it. That's a really, really... In fact, here we go.
It's a very Maisie garage.
It is. Actually, can I tell you, there was one restored recently, sold 10 years ago at Bonham's Auctions for $110,000 US. A genuine Mazda Cosmo Sports Series. It was a Series 2 model, but...
Yeah, so the one that I worked on, I forget how much he had bought it for, but he had it for a little while, and he's over 6 foot tall, so he didn't own it very long before he decided he can't fit in it and he's going to sell it. So I had to drive it round for him, I wasn't complaining. But he ended up selling it. I think he was asking it was over 100.
$100,000, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
All right. You are aware also that Mazda did release a prototype concept reviving that Cosmo? Yeah.
Is that the one recently?
Yeah, back in 2002.
Oh, no.
Don't like it?
But there's a few different models of Cosmos, because there's the they then brought out the Cosmo that was based on the RX5.
Okay.
And then there's the JC Cosmo, which is they came 13B and 20B. So 13B turbo or 20B twin turbo as well.
Okay.
They were both twins, because it was around the era of the FDs coming out was when they brought out the JC Cosmo. But I believe there was another one that was based on the 929. So it had the pop-up headlights with 929.
Yep. Would you like one of those if you wanted to?
No.
No? Not interested?
No.
Well,
I just want a 110S. Or I'd take a JC, only if it's a 20B model.
All right. So either that, but we'll go with the 110S. That's the real deal.
I'm pretty sure the JC Cosmo has a wine cooler in it.
Are you... Shut up.
They're a luxury car.
Shut up and take my money. I need to go back to Japan.
And the JC Cosmo was the first ever car to come out with sat-nav, or at least Mazda's first ever car to come out with sat-nav. But it was very, very, very early days of sat-nav.
Wow.
And it never works anymore.
It has nothing on Google.
We've had to try and send the sat-nav away to someone to fix them, and no one in the country fixes them. And we've tried New Zealand. No.
It has nothing on a Google Maps at all.
Oh, no, the screen doesn't even work anymore.
Technology.
Well built.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love that garage. Yeah, the 110S Cosmo, the Mazda 787B, and 4 Falcon GTHO Phase 4. Yeah, that's just... It's a very Maisie garage, as you said, and it's a perfect way to end what has been a fantastic chat. I've really enjoyed it, Maisie. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on and have a chat with me. And I've really enjoyed it, like I said. I hope whatever you do with your racing career, you go on to do amazing things. And
I want to have fun. That is the main thing I want in my life, is to have fun.
And you should. You should. Thank you again. And
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, how about that for a dream garage? 2 Mazda rotaries and an Australian motoring icon built on the history of Bathurst. The Mazda 787B remains the only rotary-powered car to have won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and until 2018, it was the only Japanese car to have won the race. The dominance of Mazda's 4-rotor engine in that 1991 event forced the FIA to change the rules for the 1992 season and go down a quasi-Formula 1 path, running F1 spec 3.5-litre engines. Mazda's Le Mans defence in 1992 with a Judd-powered V10 only netted them a 4th place result. And what about the Ford Falcon GTHO Phase 4? Iconic in every sense of the word. 4 of them built, 3 of them still remain in existence. One of them in the custodianship of the Bowden family in Queensland. How about the Mazda 110S Cosmo? When you look at it now, the sleek lines and its futuristic look from the 1960s certainly makes it stand out, as does the twin-rotor Wankel engine. Maisie certainly loves her Mazdas, that's for sure. My thanks to Maisie for her generosity to come onto the podcast. You can follow her RX8 Cup efforts on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to check out the RX8 Cup on Facebook and Instagram, and also via the website at rx8cup.com.au. We've put all the links in the show notes, as well as the Motor Dream podcast website. The website itself is at themotordream.com.au, where you can listen to past episodes, find more information on each of our guests, and also on the show itself. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram with the handle The Motor Dream, and you can start a conversation about your dream garage by using the hashtag The Motor Dream. Or better still, drop us a line on what your dream garage would be. Our email is themotordream@beastproductions.com.au. Lastly, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube Music. Thanks for listening as always, and remember to drive or ride safely out on the roads wherever you go. We'll be back for another episode in a couple of weeks' time, where my guest is Australian Formula One journalist Matt Kosh. Until then, we'll see you next time on the Motor Dream Podcast. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Motor Dream Podcast. This series is proudly produced by Beast Productions.